All right, everybody. I guess this is us. Welcome to Facilities Fridays. Thank you for being here. The topic today, well, there are two topics today. One's going to be service excellence, and the other is going to be plumbing/water conservation. Exciting. All right, let's start with service excellence. We're just going to start there, and then we'll end with kind of plumbing. But at the end of all of this, I implore you to hold your questions until the end, and then we'll pass around a microphone and we'll have a Q&A. All right? Deal? Awesome. All right. Service excellence. I know that's a term that that a lot of places throw around, and a lot of and something that Horizon House is focusing on. I want to, for the facilities department's perspective, I want to talk about that a little bit today. And so, hang on. Service excellence. First of all, I want to thank everybody for all the bright spots and the recognition that you guys have given to during last week's extravaganza. We got a lot of bright spots and a lot of thank yous, heartfelt notes, and to the facilities team. And I just want to say thank you for noticing us. We try to not be noticed, and try to support not only the residents, you guys, but our internal customers, our coworkers, and everything. We work really hard to keep the building running, and a lot of what we do is not noticed until things go wrong. So we try to keep that down to a minimum. And but when things go wrong, it's nice to get on a pat on the back from our extended family, you guys. And so I want to acknowledge that. The guys are really moved by that. I can tell you when they get the bright spot cards, they're really grateful. So thank you. We want to definitely recognize all of that. Or I should say, and we're also interested in sort of improving. So what can we do to be better? How can our service be taken to the next level? And what does that mean for us? We want to step up our game. We want to always sort of go above and beyond. And we don't, want to rest and say that we're doing a great job. We can always improve. And so we're really sort of dedicating this upcoming year to ways that we can improve our level of customer service. And some of the things that we're going to do that are going to roll out, we're going to have our engineers, when they come to your apartments, they're going to ask, or you guys can request, if you want us to wear like the little booties to cover our shoes before we go in. I know some people still have carpet, and some people just clean their floors, and we're usually coming in from a carpeted area, but still, we want to really step up our game and really do a better job of honoring the fact that you're allowing us into your home for whatever reason. Sometimes I just want to, if it can be being on the safety committee, if it's a danger, they might not be able to wear them. If they're climbing a ladder, that might not be safe. If there's a flood or water, that also might be a slip hazard. So there are going to be some instances where they're not going to be able to wear them, but they should be asking, and again, on your request, if you request that, they should be putting those on. And we've got a few other things that we're ironing out that we're going to be implementing in this coming year to kind of step up our game as far as customer service. We're also interested in the feedback, and we want the process to work for everybody. We want work orders to go in, and we want to be able to complete these work orders in a timely manner, and we want there to be this level of satisfaction, and we're looking to improve that. And so what we're asking for is feedback. If we're doing a great job, awesome. That feedback is worth something too. If there are areas you feel we can improve, that's worth something too. And if there are times, and hopefully there are very few or none, where we fail to meet expectations, well, we want to hear that too, so we can make the appropriate decisions to improve or update how we handle situations. So that being said, I want to talk about how you give feedback and who to give feedback to make sure it's effective. First of all, I think giving feedback. I'm the facilities coordinator, so giving feedback to myself and my supervisor, my boss, Sean McMahon, is probably the most effective and direct way to do it. It's going to find us anyway, so that's going to be the most effective way. So what I'm suggesting is if you can send us an email, and you can find us in the directory, or you can leave a voicemail for us. That's going to be the most effective way. If you decide to talk to, let's say, Brian Holtz, he's a go-to guy for everything, and that's a lot. That's a lot of hats to wear. But what he's going to do is forward that email or voicemail to myself and Sean. So you're just avoiding a step by coming directly to us. It's going to get addressed, and we're interested in hearing, like I said, the positive feedback, which lets us know that we're doing the right thing, or the where we can improve. Let's say, hey, they did this, but this is actually the icing on the cake, which would make it better. We want to hear that too. And like I said, in the rare cases, and maybe there's more, where we can make wholesale changes or where we miss the mark, we definitely want to hear that. So you're a part of that ecosystem, and I encourage you all to, like I said, send an email or a voicemail. We're all incredibly busy, and we love talking to you. But if you guys have seen me, I'm just carrying this in the hallways when I'm running from one place to another, and I don't have a pen or anything to write a lot down. And so you can leave a comprehensive message in via voicemail or email, and that's the best way, the most impactful way. Just think, it happened to me this morning. I was walking with a vendor, and we were going from the West Wing to the North Tower, and I got stopped 4 times. And he's like, "How do you do that? You can't take 10 steps without." And I said, "It's true, but it's hard to sort of keep it all straight. I too am getting older. Note the gray." So it's hard to I don't have the memory of a 20-year-old, so sending an email is the best way, or a voicemail. Does that make sense? All right. So let's talk about the process. We're going to talk about work orders and how another way you can communicate with us. If there's something broken or there's something wrong or something that needs attention, the best way is not to send me an email or a voicemail. It's to submit a work order. And the work order process, the first sort of step is to go reception. We're trying to get everything to sort of funnel to reception. And we don't want that to land on one person. A lot of people go, well, I'm going to go talk to Jay, or I'm going to go talk to this person. Jay's great. Jay she does an amazing job, and really knows kind of a step up from reception, who deal with so many things. But when Jay's not here on the weekends or in the evenings or before she gets here in the morning, we want everything to go through the front desk so it's consistent. They can all put in work orders, and they can all look up work orders. So I encourage you to go that route. Call the front desk. You can come down to the front desk, and they can submit a work order. If you're not sure what department it belongs to, if it's facilities or EBS or even renovations, they will know what bucket to put it in. So again, I encourage you, that's going to be the best way to start the process. Now, when you put in a work order, and let's say you want to follow up on a work order, she's a perfect resource. Or you can contact me directly, and I can give you the status of the work order. I think that you can also contact the front desk. Sometimes they're just going to send it to me or send it to Jay. But submitting a work order and communicating that information to the front desk is the fastest and most responsive way to get results. We all on the same page? I love it. I love it. No, what about no? We're not on the same page. All right. Well, we'll come back to that. All right. So now we're going to talk about plumbing and water conservation. All right. Are we ready to move on? Okay. Let's talk about why it's important. So we're entering into the summer. We're in the summer, right? It was really nice Wednesday, huh? 82? Too hot. Yeah, it was. Hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. It's been nice all week. We're coming in at the season where we're using a lot more water, more showers because it's warmer. We're watering our plants. Making more ice to make more Manhattans. Oh, sorry, that's just me. We're using more water, and so we want to make sure that we are using that responsibly, first of all. And so I'm going to go to the second part, the conservation part, before I get back to the plumbing part, but they're kind of together. We want to make sure that we're using it responsibly. It is a resource that we have, but as you all know, this time of year, sometimes they will start to ban excess water use because people are running their. It was last summer I saw it was raining and someone's sprinklers were on in their lawn, and that's just not a sustainable practice. And so we want to do our part in this community by making sure we're not wasting water. And how can we what I'm imploring people to check is if they have a toilet and they hear it running and running and running, you flush it, but you're like, hey, that should have filled the tank maybe 5 minutes ago and it's still running. Or sometimes it'll just run for a little bit and then stop and run for a little bit and stop without anyone using it. Well, what you want to do at that point in time, and I encourage everyone to look or listen in their apartments, is you want to just call the front desk. There's probably something leaking past, and it's just dumping water, which is wasteful, let's be honest. So we want to really sort of make sure that things like that are addressed, again, by putting in a work order. If you notice something like that. Let's talk about kitchen faucets or any kind of faucet for that matter. If it's dripping in the sink, well, that's wasting water too. And so we really want to submit a work order and make sure that when we finish brushing our teeth or finish getting a glass of water, that when we shut off the water, it's not continually dripping, because again, that's very wasteful. We're not doing our part. And so, especially now that it's a summertime, we want to really look at these things a little closer, so we can do our part about in regards to conserving water. Yes. Let's talk about other things, leaks or water. Some people think, well, if it's dripping into the faucet, that's not bad. It's going down the drain. Well, it is bad because we're wasting. But let's talk about leaks that may happen underneath the kitchen sink or underneath the bathroom sink. So I do it several times a month, but or at least once a month in my condo, I open up the bathroom sink or the sink underneath, and I just kind of feel the pipes and make sure they're not damp. Sometimes a leak can be really slow or minute, or if you have a lot of stuff in your sink, you might not notice it, but your neighbor will notice it. So we want to just make sure that we look and make sure that the drain is draining where it should be draining. There was a resident recently that kind of lost some items. That it was a slow leak, and this happened over a long period of time and just damaged everything that was under their sink. And they lost some items because of that. So I encourage you again to check for leaks underneath your faucets, underneath your sinks, in your bathroom and in your kitchen, yeah, it's a good time to look at that. All right. Best practices. Let's talk about that. Again, I kind of hinted at it a little bit. I kind of skipped to the ending. Spoiler alert about checking for leaks. That's a best practice. Also, making sure that we are using the dishwasher properly and wash our clothes properly. I know that we're independent living, but we still have a sort of responsibility. So we don't want to run a dishwasher for 2 glasses and a plate. Again, that's wasteful. And I'm holding myself accountable too, because I live by myself, and there have been times where I'm like, I really don't want to wash that, but I need it. And so I need to do better about being responsible about my water usage. Same thing with clothes. Waiting that extra day so we get more bang for our buck as far as water usage is also important. I think we have a lot of appliances now that are really efficient, but we still can do our part to be mindful of the water that we're using. All right? All right. Well, we're going to go straight to the question and answer portion. Be gentle. It is Friday and it's sunny out. And let's be honest. I don't want to start drinking immediately after this meeting. So, sorry. Yeah, question and answer. I was already thanking you. I am thanking you, but the question and answer. We got one here. Right. Okay.
First of all, I want to congratulate you. To my knowledge, all of the elevators have been operating in the last week.
Yeah. I'll take that. Come on, let's put hands together. Yeah.
Secondly, my question is, they were going to do some adjusting on our door locks. Has that all been done?
They're still working. The company we changed out. If you're talking about the new access control, the orange key card, they're still. I think they're wrapping up their portion of the install. If you have something that's specifically wrong, you can put in a work order, or you can let me know. But I think they're wrapping up that to answer your question.
I've had several work orders, drainage in my kitchen sink, and it still doesn't run well. And when I run my dishwasher, the water comes up in the sink.
Okay.
Are there problems with the main plumbing?
No, well, no. I think what's going on with your kitchen sink when you run the dishwasher, there might be a little bit of a clog because they're connected. The drain for the dishwasher, it goes into the same place as the drain for your sink.
So the problem is the sink drainage.
Right. So we can address that. You said you've had several work orders, or are they still open, or are they?
No, they've come and supposedly fixed it.
Well,
several times, but it keeps happening again.
Okay, well, we can talk about this. If you want to send me an email, or we can talk after we get done, we'll get to the bottom of that.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, boy. Okay. I feel like a tumbleweed's going to roll. Okay, I'm ready.
I want to know, if we're not satisfied with work that your staff have done,
Yes.
who do we go to? Do we go back to the front desk, or do we go to you?
You can go to me or Sean, and Sean is my boss, and that's going to get you the most immediate results.
Okay, that leads me to my second issue.
Oh.
I guess you've told the front desk not to tell any staff your room number, because the front desk thinks it should never send or never allow a resident, one of us, to go to your office.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not hiding for anyone. I'm in the building services offices on B1 as you go to the garage. I'm right there.
Okay,
you can find me. and I'll have a conversation with the front desk. And
You're telling 24 people, and we'll know. You got to tell the front desk.
Will do.
Not to. That they can betray your room number anytime.
Absolutely. I'm in agreement with you. We'll talk it over, and that shouldn't be information they put out. They can come find me, and I'll make sure they know that.
All right.
All right.
Now that brings me back to the first issue.
Oh, you got we're back at the first one. I thought we were going. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Not happy with the work that your staff has done.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to be honest. I recently, in the last 3 months, ordered a bidet.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
I should have come to you guys first, and I would have if I had known your room number.
Okay.
But I ordered the bidet on my own.
Yes.
That was a mistake.
Because they fit toilets differently. Different brands fit different. Yeah.
They brought a bidet, they delivered it,
Uh-huh.
and I finally found out where your office was, and I went down and I talked to Sean.
Right.
And I told Sean that I had a bidet sitting in my apartment. Would he please come and install it?
Right.
He came up himself, he looked at it, and he said, I can't install that bidet. It's too big for
Right.
your apartment.
Right. Right.
Sean was very helpful
Yes.
in getting me to send that back.
Right.
And it cost me a bit of money for the postage.
Sure.
You know. But anyway, my point is that he and I had a back and forth that went on for weeks.
Right. Right.
Should I have gone back to the front desk for that?
No. Once you have a relationship and a dialogue happening with whether that be an engineer or like myself or Sean, you don't have to keep submitting work orders or have that.
Okay,
You're working with
just a
someone.
minute. What if I'm not happy with the work that your staff have done?
Again, you can talk. You can send me an email or a voicemail, and we can get to the bottom of it. Or Sean.
Okay, because when my correct bidet finally arrived, your staff came and installed it.
Okay.
I've personally installed several toilets,
Right.
so I know what has to be done.
Right.
The work that your staff did in installing the bidet was terrible.
Okay.
They left wires sticking out. That should have been tucked under.
Well,
The source of water, they leaked. The water leaked.
okay. I think I hear you, and I want to get this issue solved, and I want to support this. So maybe this is a conversation we can have offline, and we can talk about this right after, and we'll get this straightened out.
It's straightened out now because I went down and I talked directly with Sean again.
Perfect. So so what you're talking about is the way it should work. If something happens and it's not to our standards or
My standards.
absolutely, and you went to the right person and you had a conversation and it got resolved.
Yeah, I
Perfect.
went, but I didn't follow any instructions from the front desk.
No. What I'm saying is when you submit a work order, front desk. But if you have any issues, like I said before, on my initial slide, if you have any concerns about our customer service and what we're doing, good or bad, you can talk to myself or Sean, and we'll get it solved for you. And it sounds like that's what happened. And I'm glad you know where we are. And like I said, I'm going to have that conversation with reception, so they know that you can always, and you can find us in the you can find us in the directory. But they should be able to tell you and sometimes walk you right to building services offices.
Well, I can tell you right now that you need to talk to your staff.
Well, like again, I will absolutely have this conversation offline. I don't want to have this in front of everyone. I don't know if that's appropriate, but we can talk about it and we want to get that straightened out for you.
I just want to say I had a totally different experience. I asked renovations what to get, and they told me. So when you need to do any kind of alteration to your apartment, it's best to check with renovations.
I think
to find out. And then it was installed perfectly well. There are no problems at all.
Yeah, you can renovations is a place you can go. You can also go to myself or Sean, or if you want to submit a work order saying that you want a bidet, then we can say, hey, you need this style. We sometimes, in a lot of cases, with appliances or ceiling fans or things like that are installed, that are going to ultimately be installed by us and the team, we will actually help find that particular brand that will work
Right.
with
you need the help.
Absolutely, and sometimes we can go as far as ordering it for it, having it billed to you. So if there's something wrong with it, we can have it sent back. So that's not on your responsibility too. So we're a resource as well for all of that. And I'm sorry you had that experience. And like I said, we can talk offline and make sure that doesn't happen going forward. But that's kind of the process. And so thank you for this is how it works. Thank you for your feedback, and thank you for your feedback. And we're interested in being better. And
I have one word of warning, and I think you know what it is.
Oh.
When you put in a work order with the desk, if you don't hear something from anybody in 2 days, you need to check, because sometimes they don't hit enter and your work order doesn't get in. And that's happened to me several times.
Yeah, and I would, and again, if to go back, piggyback on that, and sometimes that happens, and they're working on improving just like we are. But if you have any questions about a work order that was submitted or not submitted, please, again, you can contact Jay, or you can contact myself or Sean.
Since we're on the subject of toilets,
Yes.
I'm on the top floor, the 18th floor, the top unit, and that's the top of the stack. And I am getting like black grit that comes out of the flushing holes right under the rim of
Right.
the toilet, and I've done a procedure that works. You go to Ace Hardware and get some stuff to put in, and it cleans it out, but
In
it
the
comes
tank?
back really rapidly.
Yeah, so that might be. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Was
No,
that
I
your
was just
question?
going to say, I don't know where it's coming from.
Oh,
but-
we can look at that. Sometimes it's something in the tank itself that is beyond those kind of cleaners. Sometimes it's bigger than
Okay,
that, and sometimes the tank needs to be replaced
My
because
tank is very clean. The back of it, I've looked at the back.
you know what I'm going to suggest.
What?
Wait a minute. There it is. We're back to
Okay.
this, and we'll get it solved for you.
Okay, so somebody would come and check and just see what
Absolutely.
it's like it's something coming out of a other pipe that I'm not.
Yeah, we'll check it out.
Okay.
We'll investigate.
Thank you, Mark.
Yep.
I have a question that you might have the answer to. It's actually about plumbing outside the building.
Okay.
Okay. I've heard a suggestion that where the runoff from the streets goes into the same sewer system as sewage, that it's better not to wash clothes and things like that on a day when it's raining. So do you know whether we have a combined storm sewer system here?
I don't think that's the case. Yeah, I think that might have been way back in the day, but I don't think that's the case.
They said some parts of Seattle still have that, but
Yeah.
I don't know what parts.
We don't hear. We don't
Thank you.
hear. Yeah. Anyone? Oh, we got one more?
Is it possible, if I'm not satisfied with the way my toilet is flushing, it's not doing the full job,
Right.
to just put in a work order and request a new toilet?
Well, you can put in a work order. Maybe that's something we can fix. We can replace a lot of parts inside to make it work more efficiently. Or, in some cases, we need to address, it might be time for the toilet to be replaced. But submitting a work order will cause an investigation to see if we can get it to work properly. Anyone else? Well, I want to say this. Get out there and enjoy this fantastic day. Thank you so much for supporting Facilities Fridays, and I look forward to seeing you guys again. Toodaloo.